Hey there. I've been asked by numerous people, what is one thing that you think is the key to living a happy, successful life? You know, however someone puts it. People put it in different ways. But I truly believe that the key to it all is your connection to yourself, which is ultimately, to your true self, like who you truly are, not your created self, not the different identities that you hold, not the different roles that you play in life, but who you truly are. And for me, that's, the soul, the spirit inside. And ultimately, in connecting to that, you're connecting to Source, the divine, God, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. I just really hope that you have something outside of yourself, something larger than we are in your mind, and that you believe in something bigger than we are. That is the biggest thing that on my journey has been crucial, is learning that there is something out there, something watching out for us. And it might not always feel that way because bad things happen. But in my opinion, bad things happen, or what we call bad things, quotes around it, either one of two things. This is my belief. One of two things. Either it's meant to happen to wake people up to something, or wake a person up to something, or to show a lesson, help someone to learn something. Or sometimes they just happen just because we do have free will. And we, instead of listening to that internal guidance system that we have, sometimes humans listen to their created self, their ego, and things get driven by that. Fights, wars, just anything that you could term bad can be driven by us. And in my belief, a higher power isn't going to step in. We have free will. Now, that's not to say that the higher power does not try to help us through that. We can go off course. We can take detours because we have free will, and we will always end up where we need to be. God, Source, the divine, will still step in and try to help us, and will continue to try to guide us. It's just whether or not, are you connected to that? Are you connected to yourself, to your higher self, to God, to Source? Whatever you want to call it, are you connected to that? Because if you're not, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss the guidance, and you're going to continue to make decisions based on your ego, based on what's kept you safe in the past. And what kept you safe in the past is not necessarily what works now. So that is what I tell people, is the biggest thing is really working on that connection to self, knowing who you truly are and knowing who you're not. And that can be challenging. A lot of times we think we're our bodies, and we're not. So if our body doesn't look the way society says it should look, we feel terrible about ourselves. Lots of people do. Not everyone, but I do at times really struggle. And then I say to myself, I am not my body. Just like I'm not my car, or my hair, or my clothes, or my house. That is not who I am. Who I am is so much more than that. So, what is your connection to yourself? What is your connection to God, Source, the divine, something greater than we are? What is your belief in that? What is your practice around that? Do you meditate? Do you pray? Do you speak in your own way to something outside of you, which is actually inside of you? It's not outside of you, and it's never disconnected from you. We can never be disconnected in reality. We just think we are. And that's what's scary. That's what we get scared of, is that disconnection. So reconnecting and learning to be still and quiet enough to hear that guidance is essential. But that's the key, is getting quiet enough, getting still enough to be able to hear it, because it's very quiet. And there's been so many times where I get frustrated. I'm like, why do you have to be so quiet? Why can't you be in my face? It's like, it's just not that way. And anything I've ever gotten from my intuition, from my gut, has never been wrong. And it's always been what I've always termed it as, and I've always called it this, even before I had a tremendous connection to it. I always would say, I don't know, I just have this quiet knowing. It's just this peaceful, quiet knowing that something is the right decision, or something is the right way to go, or that's our internal guidance. But we can't hear that if we're running on fear and worry and doubt. Then that's much louder. That's screaming in our ear, and so that's all we can hear, is the fear, worry, and doubt, and all the things that we think we need to do based on that. So, becoming still, becoming quiet, being in nature. That's why I love being outside. Nature just calms naturally. And then you can get in a space of being connected, truly connected to yourself and to the greater collective. That's what I think is the key. I would love to hear your comments. I would love for you to subscribe if you like my messages. I would love to hear what you'd like to hear more about. Ask questions. I'd love to share my thoughts. So thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again later.